incredible. And to think that people had not long stopped using flint tools when this was made.
There is so much history in this knife.
Ooh.
I'd love to see what else it got up to.
I'm getting the scent of Grenkins again, Morris. I'll pop up to let you know when we're close to one.
I'll sing you a song of the Queen of the Sea. Of when I first met her and when she first met me. Of the silver and red and the start of my life.
Of course we watched her. We had heard of her birth and seen her on the shore, her feet sometimes in the seawater, her body in the sun. We did not show ourselves at first. As a test, we left the mirror on the black shore, born of the volcano on the same day as her, and waited to see what would happen, to see if it called to her. She picked it up, turned it from side to side. She took it home. The next time I saw her, I introduced myself. We sang together, and I showed her how the mirror worked. How if you emptied your mind and thought of air and light and sea, you would see things in its surface. How things would unfurl in the future. Aggie was better at mirror gazing than any of us sea folk. She saw a girl, her own daughter not yet born, as leader of the dry folk. I told Aggie to keep on gazing into that mirror, that one day the island would need something more than a leader.
Oh, I had a box of rocks that looked like that mirror somewhere. Where did I put it?
Whoa. This thing is really powerful, Morris. Can you feel it?
I was always fearless. My mother Aggie told me there was nothing I couldn't do. With Otsul and without, I hunted the deer in the woods and the hares on the mountain, all before I had taken my first lover. And younger still, one time Aggie had me knock her tooth out when she was in terrible pain. I didn't mind even when the blood poured out. It was easy for me. Spears and knives were my nature. Death and courage were my meat and drink. I knew about Aggie's mirror, of course, but did not believe all of it. When Aggie warned us the Mauler was sick and there would be fewer calves for the following years, none of us listened. It was to be my first cull. I wanted their blood. It was my nature. We would not take less of the Mauler just because an old woman told us to. She came to the beach after the Mauler slaughter, her hair wild, eyes burning with fury, raged and shouted like a woman out of her mind. "We had killed too many," she said. Then she left the village, told us she was done with all of us, forever. As Otsul marked me with oil and blood, I did not mourn my mother leaving. I was young and foolish, and the sight of her ashamed me. But of course, I did not see what was to come.
To think that they were still having the same arguments about the Morlo way back in the Bronze Age.
Aggie must have sensed the trouble ahead. Maybe she was trying to find a way to prevent it. Morris, I'm getting the scent of a new place on Shelmerston we can go. It smells like... Oh, Grenkins.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take a quick look.
The silver did flash and the blood it did flow, and the calves caught their mothers, and on they did go. But I never did stop, my blade never did fail, with the queen
What a
of
beautiful
the
object.
seas that most
Delighted to have it in our museum.
And the blood on my hands and the blood on the sand.
She was alone, and I would bring her food sometimes, samphire and sea urchins. She would make dry food and we would eat it together. Textures unlike any we knew that broke apart in your hands and in your mouth. We would sing together, make tea together. We became her family. The dry folk left her alone. She had a companion for a few seasons, a hind who came down from the mountain and slept at her fire. And then, for a few more, a golden hare that ate from her hand. One night we all felt it. Those of us in the water and those above, the island waking, rumbling, alive again, more furious than before. I found Aggie awake, tending her fire, unsleeping, unresting, staring into her mirror. She told me she'd seen the island sinking into orange fire and boiling sea, lost forever above and below. The village and our town in the sea caves, all gone. Aggie went to the shore and blew the sinistral shell, calling our people up from the water. Aggie sang for them the oldest song, and we spoke for some time. That night, the sea and sky was all the same color, a deep grey blue like a mackerel's back without the glitter. As the dawn approached, Aggie left the beach to return to her people, to tell them what must be done.
I'm not sure I want to see what happens next.
We have to, Morris.
Such a small thing. But it changed the entire course of our island.